Hey, happy Saturday from Real Stuff, Real Change. I'm sitting here in my office. 4th of July weekend. Hope you guys have enjoyed your Independence Day. And, Independence Day goes from the day before July 4th until Sunday of the weekend of July 4th because you can hear fireworks going off everywhere. And so it's really an extended holiday. Most people take off the day before. They don't go to work the day after, especially if it's the weekend. And then fireworks are just kind of shot everywhere for the entire weekend. So hope you enjoyed. Hope you got your fill of smoke bombs and sparklers and fountains or M80s or whatever you employ yourself to like. So we hung out with some friends, and then we shot some fireworks off here at our house here in Charlottesville, and it was a great weekend. So hey, Real Stuff, Real Change here. Wanted to come to you. It's been a while since I've had some discussions with you on the videos, and I wanted to explore a topic that I think is super misunderstood and super misunderstood. It's really a topic that most of us believe that we know about ourselves, but then nothing ever changes in our lives based on knowing these particular factors. And I wanted to talk to you about emotional drivers and what is driving your emotions today in your life. If you think about the brain and how the brain functions, there's really two main areas of the brain. You have the cortex area where there's a lot of thinking. It's the frontal cortex, and there's the anterior and the posterior areas. And then you have the limbic system, which is considered the emotional, feel-good, the survival brain. Some people call it the reptilian brain. These two areas almost fight for territory in your life and in mine as well. And the reason I bring them up is because emotional drivers, these are major factors in whether we make good or bad decisions in our lives. Let me explain to you what I mean. When you think about somebody who is addicted to something, we normally think of drugs. We normally think of alcohol or drugs. We might think of pornography. It could be something like shopping, or it could be working out, but those kind of come in second place to drugs and alcohol and pornography. That's just kind of how we think in our as humans. And if you think about addiction and what drives addiction, things such as feel good, the hope of it, maybe the imagination, the glamorizing of the relief that you get from taking the drugs or drinking a lot of alcohol or masturbating to porn or just watching it over and over again and kind of trying to relive that good feeling. It's almost like if you don't have it, you're looking for that emotional driver, that addictive emotional driver to lead you. And really you're going about it really in a really feeling type of action. There's not a lot of thought put into it. There's not a lot of consequential thought put into it. And that driver is driving down a road that if you're not careful, it's hard to get back. It's hard to come off the road. It's hard to exit and get back, get on a different path. Well, emotional drivers don't just discriminate, just don't mean drugs and alcohol and porn. They can be as simple as someone's anger, somebody getting horribly mad at their spouse or their family or friends on a regular basis. It could be sadness. It could be the sadness that's driving them to be depressed. It could be shopping. It could be spending money. It could be eating, weight gain, weight loss. It could be the drivers of your emotions can lead you to so many different avoidant type activities. And if we think about it, Most of us probably believe that we don't fit in to any of those areas. And if we do, we really don't have that big of a problem. That's a problem someone else has. Ours is under control. Ours is managed. We are good. And I'm not saying that you do have a problem. But what I'm getting at is every one of us, every human being has something that drives them to do something that's not quite functional. For example, for me, one of the things that I've had to really understand about myself was that I can come across really rash and not even know I'm doing it. For example, I could be talking to a group of people in a crowd and I can elevate my emotion where it sounds like I'm mad. And I might not be mad, but to the crowd it seems like I am. And there may be an underlying driver making me mad, such as I want to be heard, I need to get my voice out there. Maybe as a kid I didn't have the opportunity to talk, so now that is driving me to be heard. It's driving me to be identified. And so this same pattern of trying to be identified through my voice could be a completely different driver for you. You may have had to do everything around the house as a kid for your parents. And now what's driving you is you just want to be left alone. You don't want anybody to bother you. You don't need community. You don't want friends. You really don't want to get married. If you do get married, you'd really just want to be left by yourself. You know, that's your driver. Your driver is I'm gonna escape. I'm gonna isolate, because all my life I had to do everything for everybody. I was the mom as a child or the dad as a child. And so emotional drivers, they are there's a lot of them. There's a variety of them. And a lot of times these drivers are predicated on your culture, on your environment, on even your gene pool, the genetics in your family, the types of personalities that you have in your family. Do you have introverts? Do you have extroverts? Did you grow up in a single household, single mom household, or single parent household? Did you grow up in a two-parent household? Did your dad work and your mom stay home? Did your mom and dad both work? And these all created drivers as you grew up. And as adults, if you have not dealt emotionally with those drivers, you will continue, not even knowing you're doing it, to rely on these drivers. So what do I mean by that? Well, little Johnny grows up in a very emotionally dysfunctional household. A lot of yelling, screaming, a lot of door slamming, a ton of cussing, threats, being told he'll never amount to anything. And he hears this all his life. He hears it through high school. Finally, he gets out of high school. He graduates. He gets to go to college. He kind of leaves his family. But guess what comes with him? The yelling and the anger and the emotional outbursts. Because Johnny hasn't yet to break the drivers that have created his pattern of living that he learned when he was younger. Now, as Johnny gets older, Johnny might get help. Johnny might join some communities. He might even go to church. He might even be a minister for all I know. But without Johnny addressing the drivers that still drive his car every day in his mind, Johnny will fail to represent the way he leads himself any differently until he decides to identify what his drivers are. Now, a lot of people know their drivers, and this is another side of this. They know their drivers, they know what their drivers are, and yet they decide not to invest in changing the road that they're driving on. And so this is just yet another way of avoiding changing something that is really detrimental to your life. And let me tell you this, emotional drivers, they don't discriminate. You don't have to be poor. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be white or black or Latino or Hispanic or Cuban. You don't have to be a female or male. You don't have to be gay or heterosexual. They don't discriminate. They're an equal opportunity employer. They would love to have you on their staff. They, as a matter of fact, are giving away positions today for you to be part of their dysfunction. And so if you honestly know or honestly have been shown or have been made aware of your dysfunctional drivers, it's probably time to get some help changing the trajectory of how you think. And this isn't just going to therapy or just getting together with some friends and having a conversation or even going to your minister and having a little counseling session. It takes a whole lot more than that to justify true change in this pattern of dysfunction. And what I mean by that is there are places and locations and feelings and memories that are inside of your thinking and mine too that drive our bus into the wrong place. And those feelings and memories and sensations and hurts have to be taken out of the engine and replaced with new parts in order for it to run properly. And this takes working with people who have backgrounds and experiences and training in memory reconsolidation, in memory rewriting, and in helping people step into their driven emotional dysfunction and changing it to something healthy and emotionally intelligent. And so I want you to think about what I said about emotional drivers. We all have them. Some of us have them at higher levels than others. Some of them have us at lower levels. They're simply behaviors that we have decided to hold on to and we've created over time that are causing us, are limiting us from being the men and women, parents, wives, spouses, friends that we really say we want to be, but we can't be. And so with that being said, I would encourage you to really ask someone about what they see in your emotional drivers. Is it, are you impatient? Are you too intense? Do you not understand what it means to not be entitled? Do you demand too much? Are you silent too much and subjugated? There's so much, and these drivers lead you to other habits that are bad and that need to be done away with. So with that being said, hey, I thought I'd come to you and share this with you. I really would love to hear from you if you really are interested in really changing the game of your life. You don't have to be 20 to do this. I'm 47. I've worked over the last 3 to 4 years to really heal some major drivers that were really dysfunctional in my life. And a lot of it I did see, I just didn't know how to change it. And once I started to learn how to do it, I actually continued to work on myself, but actually became someone who actually is trained to help others release these pains and emotional dysfunctional drivers in their lives. So, hey, if you, hopefully this has been helpful. I'm going to go ahead and put this on Facebook for you. If you want to know more, I'd love to talk to you, love to chat with you. I have some free consults where I talk to people about how to release emotional pain and memory dysfunction and how to rewrite it, reframe it, and how to actually, live a little bit healthier and more aware of your life. So you can go to realstuffrealchange.com and check us out. You can also go to the Facebook page. I'm always on there posting something. But I hope you have a great weekend, the rest of your Independence Day weekend. I hope you are safe out there. Please don't put any smoke bombs in anybody's mailboxes. I did that when I was a kid, and I could have gone to jail for it and didn't realize that until one of my buddies almost did go to jail. So I don't do that anymore, by the way. I've changed that driver. So anyway, I hope have a great Sunday, great Saturday night, And again, reach out to us if you'd like to know more. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.